Hershey? I think 4. Sounds rough. Yes, Hershey, I'm gonna hold you. I'm gonna squeeze you. He's a good little shit. What can I say? All right, Hershey, get ready. I'm gonna toss you, Hershey. Ready? It's yeet time. Yeet. Good boy, Hershey. There's a bed right there. Like the anime girl streamers, yeah. Just don't give him tits. That's what I would say. That's all I would say. All right. Interesting topic to talk about, though. I do have something special. I wanted to wait for the final hour to talk about it. Guys, it's merger season. No, sorry, meme stock aficionados. I'm not talking about Bloodbath and Beyond. No. JBL, not the wrestler. Jabil, the company, is up 8.5% today. 8.5%. Why? They are looking to sell their mobility division. Yes. Apparently, they are selling their mobility business to BYD, which actually cuts exposure to Apple in China. Doozy, yeah, I did speak very briefly about GME. There's actually a lot of positive commentary coming out now from the different channels. Wendy, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're enjoying vacation. Mo asks the great question I love. Who benefits from mergers? Everyone? A little company by the name of Goldman Sachs. Morgan Stanley would also benefit. Jefferies would also benefit. Goldman Sachs should be number one beneficiary. So yes, you've got Jabil looking to sell their mobility division to BYD. Yes, that company. All right. But that's not all, guys. That's not all. All right. Anybody ever heard of the company Abcam? Where's ChemLife? This is your space, is it not? ABCM. Ooh, down 4%. Yes, gang. Abcam. Abcam is potentially being looked at, as of today. Danaher to acquire them for $24 a share. And they're down. They're down. Interesting. Abcam. This is the biotech spot. But that's not all, guys. Sentinel-1, and we did speak about this one last week. Sentinel-1, a stock I do have shares in, by the way, so I'm guilty on this one. Supposedly, Wix is looking at an acquisition here. The cybersecurity startup Wiz. And then finally, Hostess's Brands. I don't know if we actually mentioned this one on Friday. Someone did bring it up, though. The artist formerly responsible for Twinkie. Do we think Abcam is fake then? The options chain doesn't seem to happen? Yeah, the stock does not seem to be responding positively. Behood, I'd love to know more about that. Not to be an asshole, the first thing I noticed about that company is it's UK-based. So they may have to go through UK regulators. And I don't think anyone wants to deal with UK regulators right now. Suchi, watch them overpay for synergistic effects. Classic. To be fair, Suchi, eye contact, motherfucker. Today's overpayment for synergistic effects is just 5 years ago, or 5 years from now, they're moat. So, and that's a generalization. I don't know if it's true. But like, I'll always go back to this. It's the idea that a long, long time ago, in a galaxy not so far away, investors were pissed when Amazon was blowing money on this strange gamble called AWS. And nowadays it provides the bulk of their profits. Which is also why I tend to be a little bit dismissive when people bitch about Facebook and Meta spending too much on Reality Labs. It's like, in 5 years from now, if Reality Labs did nothing, then it's right to make fun of them. But if it turns into some multi-billion-dollar business, we won't bitch as much, right? Anyway. The Mondelez is interesting one. So Hostess. Mondelez International among brands interested. Pepsi, Hershey, General Mills also interested. Suchi, maybe but most mergers are horrible for return on invested capital. I like that. You haven't personally checked this, but you've heard from someone. Yeah, I mean, but here's the question, Suchi. Here's the question. How would you go about setting up the analysis when we know there are some really bad examples, right? Like basically, say you took the last like 100 big merger slash acquisitions, right? Like the top 100 sized, and you average them out and you say on average return on invested capital went down like 5%. What happens if you throw out like the AOL Time Warner merger, right? Like how bad does it look then? Or the AT&T Time Warner merger? Basically anybody who purchased Time Warner. Be good. So is that the idea? Sentinel-1 to be bought? Yes, supposedly. Sentinel-1 put out an article, I believe, last Friday, basically saying they are exploring strategic options akin to what U.S. Steel did. So most of the time, from a Wall Street standpoint, when a company says that, they have received an offer, or at least received interest. And that's why a company publicizes it, because the company has a responsibility to shareholders to maximize value, i.e., generate more bidders. Yeah, Mo. You also heard that Lena Khan is pausing her challenge to Amgen buying Horizon. Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure about the spread. If you kill the outliers, what happens? Good question. And Suchi, to be fair, I mean that's like, you know, basically it's like, all right, well, except for that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? Right? If we're saying how are acquisitions if you ignore people buying Time Warner? Bidders. Sorry, bidders. Yeah, I was in the process of hiccuping. Cream Assembly guy, please explain why you weren't Mega Bull on Meta. I should have been. I should have been a Mega Bull on them. I should have been a Mega Bull on Apple. I should have been a Mega Bull on Nvidia. I was scared. That's the truth. That comment about the best time to buy is when you don't want to is 100% true with me. Yep. Spencer, geez, that Mrs. Lincoln line. What can I say, Spencer? I keeps it fucking real. CDOS, so buy AMD. Fucking hate the fact that you're making that point. I see a lot of bad news for AMD in the short term. Long term, though, AMD is still a very good company. So buy Bloodbath and Beyond. No. That's a different story. You gotta remember, all right, when Meta was going through its bullshit, when Meta was knocked all the way down, people saw it as bloated. It was still profitable as shit. It's not like the company told you they're going bankrupt and that shareholders are getting zero. Bloodbath and Beyond has been telling you that. Wendy, want to buy some Disney? Again, you're making that point, which is, you're kind of right. Disney's getting the shit knocked out of it. There's a report that one of their internal groups, I forget who, is now looking to unionize. Interesting. Yeah, in retrospect, Meta was the most obvious move. Honestly, I think really Nvidia was. Because we were talking about it and we knew they were undershipping their channel. So we were expecting them to basically bottom out first anyway. And they did. The thing that we didn't see coming was OpenAI, and then all of a sudden everyone gave a shit. Remember, AI has been in existence for a while. Now it matters. Ooh, B-Hood, what's this? I'll read this later. Yep. I'm assuming this is talking about the power consumption of supercomputers. Give me something, guy. But I said NVIDIA was cyclical. Yes, it was. And they were coming out of their bottom of their cycle. Basically, for some of these semiconductor companies, NVIDIA, AMD, Qualcomm, great examples of this. Their cycle ends when they stop under shipping real demand. And we knew NVIDIA was going to be first up because they were the first to stop over shipping. By the way, Qualcomm was the last, and that's why part of the reason why Qualcomm's been the biggest bitch. A lesson for all of us to learn. Cristiano Aman will overship demand. B-Hood says, NVIDIA was meme-like, though. You're right, NVIDIA was meme-like. B-Hood, here's the point that I will make. All right? At this earnings inflection point, when basically it was revealed that NVIDIA was done under shipping demand, when this happened, that was the buy signal, and I missed it. And as a semiconductor follower, I shouldn't have. Granted, later on, that's when you had Chat GPT, the quote AI, the iPhone moment for AI. That was different. If OpenAI didn't release Chat GPT, NVIDIA would not be over $400, but it would have been over $200. That's my belief. That was just a cycle. Yeah, Trade Nation. I use the Internet Archive, so I'll check it later. How you doing, Trade Nation? This fucker Bill Ackman changed my mind. Oh. By the way, here's the funny thing about Disney. Wendy, you'll love this. He's on a plane right now, so. What happens to Disney the second the writers and actors strike is resolved? I bet you Disney pops big. I could have had Air at $8. That one also kills me. Uranium. Nvidia didn't make new highs from 2007 to 2015. It hasn't always just been sunshine and rainbows. Correct, but I follow the kind of the tech sector and what it's doing. Nvidia rising back up made perfect sense because I've known about their AI use case for years now. Trade Nation, you doing well? You drank like you were in Bloomington. That a boy. That a boy. Yeah. By the way, for all of you in the Midwest, particularly, I'm assuming none of you are in high school, right? Just in case I am reaching out to the youth of today, let me talk to you for a second. Let's chat in my office. If you can, go to Bloomington, Indiana. Indiana University is by far an institution I have a lot of respect for, a lot of love for. You'll work hard, you'll learn hard. There's it's a beautiful, beautiful spot. Bloomington, Indiana. It's great. It's just great. Nox event. Don't I have analytics tell me? Yes, the rough age. And by the way, I am pretty sure that the average viewer for my stream is substantially older than the average viewer for a Twitch stream. Yep. So thank you, Mo. Thank you, Promo. Thank you, ChemLife. You fucking boomers. I appreciate you guys going through the effort to learn about Twitch and the interwebs and come on here. I know I'm older than the average streamer too. Spencer, you're under 35 at least. Does that make you the youth? Shut up. Yeah, I know. Knocks event. Considering most Twitch is Bobby streamers aimed at teenagers, not a surprise. It's true. Yeah, and Bitaska, yep, you're even older than me. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Sandroid, you're 43, my age. You watch Twitch to say current thing? Yep. Mo's innocently catching strays here. Yep. And by the way, if you guys are ever contemplating grad school, I will tell you straight up, like my graduate program, University of Illinois. Yep, Champaign-Urbana, the Institute for the School for Labor and Employment Relations, excellent program. I would recommend that one too. I would recommend that one too. Yeah. Promo is 23. Promo's like Benjamin Button. He's like ancient. Poor Promo's catching. Is Promo even in here? If he's not in here, I don't feel bad. He's not in here. Fuck him. Black Raven, same age. Yep. And I appreciate that. I like my audience. I do. Oh, I can hear thunder in the background. You have a completely free day, October 2nd in Nashville. Maybe we should meet up, yeah. You're not going to murder me and wear my skin, are you? Hmm? Be honest, Spencer. I hear him downstairs. He seems to be fine. The only teenagers here are lost between Booba and Hassan's streams. Hassan seems like a semi-reasonable person, but I don't know how much of what he says he truly believes versus how much is just like kind of outrage farming. And that's the problem I have with like political streamers on both sides. Like that's why I'm like the most boring ass centrist in terms of political shit, because it's like stop making people feel like shit. God. The kids followed XQC to learn how to gamble at 12 years old. Yep. Yeah. When's the next debate? Mally Duck. Imagine being in your late 40s. Shut up. Still gambling. Yeah. Yeah. Dude is a commie, but loves his investment properties, playing both sides, right? All right. Yeah. So we have about a month until the next debate. By the way, Nikki Haley's doing pretty well in polling. By the way, when she talks shit about the Republican Congress, it's turning into a ad for the Biden campaign, which I told you it would. Justy Pants and SPM have had glowing reviews of your meats. Yeah. Spencer, you love Nikki Haley. That's a new thing, isn't it? Because you caught her finally on the street on the. She talked about how the debt was significantly increased during the Trump administration because she pointed out all the people on stage who were basically part of that whole effort, which is true. It's true, by the way. You hadn't seen her speak for you. She's sharp. I mean, listen, some of the things she says, I'm not going to agree with. I am much more centrist. Some of you will say, well, of course, I'm a liberal. I'm not a liberal. I will tend to vote Democrat. Most of you picked that up by now. That's fine. When Democrats have a really stupid idea, it goes nowhere. When Republicans have a stupid idea, they fucking pull it off. Isn't come hang out on my deck a euphemism? J Ultra Lib. By the way, how's Ulta doing today? I'm hoping they're doing well because I have September, and I assume my position's totally dead, but I'd like to see it bounce. Small, very very small. The Curse of Eclipse. Asana's representation of the communist condition. It's a bourgeois ideology. Get the spy. 441. 442 is the pivot point today. Wow, market feels just boring. There's a lot of talk, obviously, we covered on the different acquisitions. But I mean, it kind of feels boring right now. By the way, there is an active shooter going on at University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I saw it when I was downstairs getting my shake. So that's good. America will always spice shit up with a shooting, right? Suchi, we got to make a rule. To be a communist, you have to do some manual labor for at least 20 years of your life. Else, shut the fuck up. Factory or farm, pick. Recursive Eclipse. You used to be a leftist, but you'll comfortably consider yourself a liberal now, but closer to a classical liberal. That makes sense. You don't like whatever the Dems are. The Dems, I mean, I'll catch shit for saying this, but the older people here probably already know this. The Democratic Party, the quote big tent, always has all these like fractious elements like screaming bitching for stuff, but it's generally speaking operated a lot more centrist. Like you don't see at the national level like crazy stupid democratic policies. You really don't. At least not the leftist stuff. You did 2 years in a factory. Oof. You'll pass the remaining 18. Fair enough. Turkey Tom, you know it's bad when literally yesterday you thought, haven't seen a mass shooting on the news in a while, and you're due. And then yesterday there was one in Jacksonville. Yeah. Some guy walked into was it Dollar Tree or Dollar General, by the way? Some big fat white motherfucker with swastikas and racist shit painted on his AR and shot 3 black people. Yeah. Yeah, pronouns are a leftist thing. Here's what I'd sit there and say. On the idea behind pronouns, if someone asks you, so for example, most of you know my real name is Jason. I go by Jay. If the first time I meet you, and I shake your hand, I say, hey, it's Jason. You know? I'm assuming your intent will be to call me Jason. Right? Like if I meet someone and they say, hey, my name is Mark, right? I'm going to call them by that. It just feels like a respectful thing. Now, all this idea of like, oh, it's a hate crime if you fuck up and don't do it, that's stupid shit. I think we all know that's stupid. That's engagement baiting. Yeah. But it's really that simple. And by the way, I have trans friends. All right? As far as I'm concerned, they're women. That's it. I don't care. I ain't fucking checking private parts. I'm not checking birth certificates. I don't give a shit. The Dollar General is on Saturday. Okay, yeah, Saturday, so not Sunday. Yeah, Chad. Right wingers also use. Everyone does. Yeah, basically, if you use the English language, use them. Who cares, right? Yeah, English doesn't work well without pronouns. Agreed. Exactly. We should stop calling her Nikki and stick with Nimrod. She did change her name to go with yeah. She changed a name to make a different focus on, quite frankly, her ethnicity. Which, by the way, her choice. I don't give a shit. I don't care. But it's yeah, right. Electric Slayer. I have the stream settings on automatic. Maybe I should check them out. Galloping Conch, yeah, an old friend came out of trans recently, and they've been disheartening. Some of the things that people have said about it. Yeah, like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, if you're roughly my age, all right, you remember when everyone would call like, "That's so gay." Like something happened bad. You're like, that's gay. Or you call someone the F word. Not even a second. I don't know if Twitch is gonna fucking ban me. But you know what I'm talking about. Like, well, guess what changes? All right. I then found out how many people that I like grew up with who then went on to admit they were in the closet, and just how bad the high school and even college experience was. And it's like now I look back and I'm like, they never came on to me. It never bothered me. But then I realize how much some of that shit actually did legitimately bother them. And if you look up anything on the statistics and how more often they are to kill themselves, it becomes easy. And to me, this is what's the most annoying thing on the political end is when you see all the people who talk about like freedom and all of that are the most like up in arms about this. It's like it's simple. Just Treat people with respect. How about that? Like 90% of the problems goes away, right? Anyway. Chad, it's sad these politicians want so badly to appear white. Yeah, I mean, the strength of America is the idea that, like I'm sorry, I took it as a sign of strength for America that up on stage you had for a Republican primary. All right, we had a black dude, Tim Scott. You had Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy. All right, I don't have to like a single fucking word that comes out of these people's mouths, but I can respect the fact that, like, in America, it's like, hey, cool, the party that's not supposed to be pro minority has three of them up on stage. I respect that. That's cool. My issue is with the activists who are not trans. Yeah, who believe it. My issue will always be with the activists because nowadays, you guys got to remember, you have people who make their living off farming outrage, and it's insane. Like, they don't believe the shit they say, but they say it to get outrage, to get clicks, to sell products, and it's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. If the majority of the planet would just admit, like, hey, this is what I believe, but I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't really care about that. It's not a big deal. I have a perspective on it, but it's not the top 10 thing going on in my life right now, right? Mm. The sad reality is they were on stage, but we will end up voting for two old white dudes. Yeah. I'd like to think, though, if Colin Powell was up there, he would have crushed them all. But we know why he's not. Galloping Con. Sometimes you used to think about all the dumb, edgy shit you used to say in high school. It's not even like I actually thought badly of any group. But yeah, people got upset. Yeah. And nowadays, it's funny because you can be, like, truly edgy, but still be inclusive. It's great. You talk about how much profit pharma companies make off gender reassignment. They market it. You're going to have to show me any example of an actual pharma company actually marketing any product to youth for me to believe that. Seriously. Galloping Con. Something you mentioned before about the Midwest that you hadn't really noticed was a casual anti. I know! So weird about how much using Jew was an insult, which is funny because they don't fucking know. like, like, what the Jews ever do to you, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's edgy. Uranium, they become a lifelong customer for hormones, but the hormones aren't like created for gender reassignment. Like, you realize, like, 10 to 20 years ago, there was a market for youth with hormones, and it was to solve hormone deficiencies, which is a natural fucking thing, right? Like, I think what's going on now is that there are people who are just like monetizing outrage. So they have people believing like there's this great big trend. I'm sorry, I just don't fucking see it. And I have nephews and nieces who I love spending time with. And for fun, I'll ask them like what's going on in their life. And understand this. The youth, if you're older right now, know this. The youth mocks you on the entire basis of the hysteria behind like trans right now. And you're going to be really easy to pull up examples where it's like, oh yeah, that's objectively stupid. No disagreement there. But let's not turn like one meme case into like the overriding narrative because it's fucking not true. Yeah, Chad's also right. The explosion in the HRT market's probably due to older people trying to maintain testosterone at an older age. Matt Walsh coming on to JRE about millions of yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny though, right? Yeah, it's not real shit. That's what I'd say. Like, unfortunately, society, through technology, through the creation of social media, we all got the power to disseminate and receive the viewpoints from millions of people across the planet, but humanity's, our own brains, never properly adjusted to receive that. Callie, thank you for the gift sub. Frugal, you're almost 30. Should you get some tests? But if you, yeah, I mean, science helps. Like, there's nothing wrong with science. Like, use it, absolutely, right? Yeah, that's correct, by the way. For those who don't know, it's extremely difficult to reassign. It takes years and multiple professional physicians and mental health givers sign off. Yeah, it's a difficult process. And by the way, it should be a difficult process. It's a life-altering process. However, so is suicide. So I'm not going to step out of my lane and say, like, oh, we should, the federal government should regulate this. No, we should have less federal government regulation, please. Right? Has said no one. Thanks to technology, I can insult you from halfway around the world. True statement. True statement. Mr. Googly Eyes, you're on a flight to Italy. Ooh, what part of Italy? Android J, that is some real talk. No one talks about the needless suicides of lost youth. Yeah. And by the way, can we openly acknowledge, all right, and during the pandemic, people got isolated, people got lonely. And now all of a sudden coming out of that, after spending hours in a day absorbing social media and people pissed off, again, profiting off of trying to make people paranoid, society right now, like, needs a fucking chill pill. I have argued we need a summer of love. We need people to just get the fuck out of their shell. It would be good. It would do society good right now. Everyone's on edge. Right? Everyone's on edge. Airdrop some drugs. Yeah, I mean, fuck it. Just, yeah, go, like, recreate, like, the rave scene from, like, the late 90s to early 2000s, especially at the summer festival scene. Shit. Venice, Florence. Ooh, the Dolomites. That'd be really cool to see. The Amalfi Coast. Nice. Good for you, man. Good for you. I approve. Media wouldn't allow a summer of love. Guess what? When we had the real summer of love, the media didn't matter. Right? You don't have to ask CNBC, Fox News, Newsmax, etc. for permission. Yep, Chad, I feel that. Trust me. People who stayed in all those years still aren't coming out. You have friends who got used to it. Yeah. No, I feel that. Chicka Bow Wow is correct. Yep. Drugs and sex fix everything. Truth. Truth. Windy, come to Europe. There's parts of South America I'd love to go, yeah. I'm still poor, though. Gotta remember. I'm still trying to fight to make this a real-time job. Tucci, you went out a couple days ago. You think you got the new COVID? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. By the way, like, cases and hospitalizations are going up. I've seen so many people, like, on FinTwit, like, oh, here comes the lockdowns. Nope. We ain't locking down. Different places may say, now we want masks, which, guess what? That's their right. Yeah, this might shock you. Your freedom is not infringed when your employer says you must wear a mask. When your school says you must wear a mask. There's been court cases about this. It's already been demonstrated. That is not irreparable loss of freedom. All right? Need some hot takes on live stream fails. I'm too medium for that. I'm what the kids would call mid, right? Suchi, it's so crazy, man, how a slightly stronger flu. Well, by now it might be a slightly stronger flu. I ain't gonna talk shit about OG COVID or particularly Delta COVID. Like, yo, that was not good for humans. Okay, I've seen some stupid takes from FinTwit where they're like, oh, people overreacted to COVID. It was a fucking novel virus. It killed what, 7 million Americans? No, a million Americans, I think 7 million globally, and we got lucky. We got lucky. When you see someone wearing a mask these days, you know they're a moron. Straight perfection, that's kind of a stupid answer. Because here's the thing. What if the person happens to, like, for example, work in an oncology department, right? It's a stupid, stupid take. Again, it kind of goes back to that whole notion of freedom. People have the right to do kind of whatever they want. It's not like they're imposing masks on you out on the street, right? Yeah. Now let the baby die. Immunocompromised baby. Puh, let them fucking die. Because it'd be really bad if someone thought you were stupid for wearing a mask. Yeah, Chad, you're a primary. Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, most of you guys know that in the morning I am a caregiver, so to speak, for my family. So I have to be extraordinarily careful, like in that regard. Yeah. No, but most of the time, like when I go out, I'm not wearing masks. But keep in mind, I keep them fucking updated on vaccines as much as possible. Beast Dad, it was strange though. In Denver, people were getting flack for going hiking outside. Yeah, that was stupid. That was an overreaction. Yeah. That always struck me as odd. Social distance by nature of being outdoors. Yeah, that was bullshit. Mally Duck, yeah. In Asia, it was common sense to wear a mask when you were sick or feeling worse. Yeah. Keep in mind, part of my view on viruses is shaped by the fact that I lived in fucking Hong Kong as a student during OG SARS, right? No one gave a shit. Everyone wore masks. Now, keep in mind, OG SARS versus COVID, substantially different. Substantially different. Airplanes have always been a vector for respiratory viruses. So have children. You don't get why. Yeah, I mean, I will understand the American viewpoint of like if I'm walking down the street and someone says I have to wear a mask, you can go fuck yourself. That's stupid. That's stupid. All right, but like if I'm walking down the street and someone else is wearing a mask, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna assume something's fucked up. So guys, hot take: it bothers you that some people are too bothered to slightly inconvenience themselves by wearing a mask to help others people's chances of living. Yeah. What the fuck just happened to the spy? I mean, keep an eye on it. Y'all see that, right? I mean, in truth, like, if I'm going on a plane, I'll wear a mask from now on. Because every time I've previously traveled, I've gotten sick. And I'll blame the plane every fucking time. Spylet. Yes, it did. Vanna back. When you're growing up in your city, Asians always wear masks, and you never knew why, long before COVID. Now you know why. Yep. That's a green boner, yeah. That's an Italian boner for you. I am cheering for you, Mr. Googly Eyes. Yep, just doing some gangsta shit. Like that spylet. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, there is a meme in my Discord. Let me pull it up for a second. This is the meme. Gophers created it. Gophers created the image, which is of a marmot or gopher, and then he animated it for the Dragon Ball Z. And then I don't know how, but Jussie added the term he let. And then ever since then, we just talk about how things let, and that's a good thing. That's it. The masks are not a placebo. They're not 100% bulletproof. They're not even probably like 90% bulletproof. But masks, there is so much science that has shown they help reduce spread. The fact that someone wears a mask and still contracts the virus does not mean the mask is 100% invalidated, like some people with bad scientific beliefs seem to think. He had a great time too, and he was like, he let. Yeah, back when "Get the fuck away from me" was a PSA instead of rude. Knox event's correct, by the way. The problem is the masks mostly help you prevent you spreading, less helpful if you stop you catching. Yep. The N95s are decent, but yeah. No clue why sub with Prime does not work. It may mean because it's your last day. You may have to wait till tomorrow. I don't know if it's a timing issue, but I've heard that's the case. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Amazon to expand interactive ad offerings in fall 2023 from Bloomberg. Nice. Yeah, but people touch their face often and unconsciously. Yeah. Oh, wow. The intern hit an extra 0 by mistake. Don't worry, fixed it. Yeah, there's supposed. Isn't there some Google event? Wendy, isn't there a Google event tomorrow? Mr. Blue Eyes is awfully into peeing on people. I respect you, sir. After you read the recent study on Florida disparity in COVID deaths attributable to vaccine rates between Dems and Republicans, you started to reset Biden's insistent on masks and vaccines. We could turn Florida blue at this rate. First it goes blue, then it goes blue. That's a joke because when you can't breathe, your face turns blue. Get it? All I know is if people are going to be truly like dogmatic about being anti-vax and anti-mask, you better hope bird flu doesn't actually spread to the human population. Because boy, shit gonna get spicy that day. Yep. Darwinism applies for intelligence, by the way. Yeah, it's possible that their species goes out because they're too stupid. Google Cloud starts their conference. Yep, so tomorrow. Got it. Hey, True Grade. You know this is unrelated to the topic, but the real estate market was wild for you buying your first home. You bought your house in 2019 for 215 just outside city limits. Its values around 300K. Nice. First time chat, by the way. Banger. Yeah, good for you. My only caution on that is I assume at some point prices will moderately correct. Know that when I say prices correct, I don't assume they're going down to 215 again. But still, good for you, my friend. Humans are not the first species here, will not be the last. I will make the argument right now. All right. Humanity will not destroy this planet. The planet will destroy us well before it's actually at risk. We're just going to make it tougher for ourselves to exist. But I am still optimistic about humanity, by the way. I think technology is going to be helpful. Like, I think we're going to find some solution. The unfortunate comfort is humanity will make the planet hotter. Farmland will migrate further north. There will be more storms. There'll be worse winters. We will see melting of glaciers. We will see rising of sea levels. Some places will get better, more hospitable. Some places will become completely inhospitable. Yeah. We'll pay more out in insurance policies. Yeah. The circle of life. Yeah, humans are goaded. People are so smart. And yes, in large enough populations, yes. There needs to be a network of satellites that partially blocks out the sun and controls the weather. Hmm. I mean, that's what volcanoes do. Just wait for one of those pop, right? Chad talking about 40K hive cities. I respect it. Bees Dad, your argument is that we need to learn better how to live within our environment. Correct. As opposed to changing our environment. I have one split. I have one difference to that, Bees Dad. I think we've already dramatically changed the environment so much. This is going to sound like a stupid comment, and it probably is. I think humans should look at how we then change the environment around us even more with the specific outlook at trying to, quote, restore balance. Yeah, Windy, I talked about that before. The one Twitter thread, the reduction of polluting ships is actually leading to hotter temperatures. The sulfate particles at high levels was able to reflect some of the sun's rays. Yep. Miss Julie Eyes, I have an idea for you. When do you arrive? What time, local time, do you arrive? Because I have a lesson of 2 trips to Asia. I've done more than 2 trips, but one lesson I learned is the first time I traveled to Hong Kong, I arrived at like 11 o'clock at night, so I didn't sleep at all on the plane. And then when I basically arrived at Hong Kong, just did a little bit of drinking, fucking passed out. 11 a.m. You're fucked. You're so fucked. I'm so sorry, my friend. Yeah, do whatever you can to sleep on the plane, then do whatever you can to stay awake when you arrive, and try to go to sleep at like 9 o'clock at night. It's good luck, sir. Yep, Wendy's correct. Like the natural eruption of volcanoes in the past causes significantly cooler temps. Yep. At some point, humanity needs to find a way to pull carbon out of the air, and I think we will eventually be somewhat successful. All right. We got to help the plant life out, right? But at some point, volcanoes. Yeah, sure, I can give you some tips. Never mind, you're fucked, sweetheart. Yeah, I do like you, Mr. Blue Guys. Good luck. I'm so sorry. So sorry. What if we nuke a fissure in the ocean to make a new volcano? Frozen Walkway. Do we need to have the conversation about nuking the planet for safety? That's funny. Bee's dad, by the way, is correct. You can see that most mass extinctions in the past have been caused by or are temporarily related to massive volcanic periods. If humans can master geoengineering and climate engineering, yes. The Quattro Depression's the one I want. Flood the Sahara. Not even the whole Sahara, just a very small part of it, which happens to be so far below sea level, people have thought there has been once water there. Imagine that. BZ, I've actually heard that as well. Folks have made a compelling argument that the extinction of dinosaurs was more caused by a massive volcanic emergence, not just asteroid. The asteroid was just the final nail. Yep. Dinos were on the way out. Yep. The AI singularities in 30 years? Well, if you keep buying NVIDIA stock, that number goes down. We can do it much faster. Still waiting for an ice age? Yep. They were here millions of years. To be fair, I can say this, right? T-Rexes were dumb. T-Rexes were dumb as shit, right? Tiny little arms, big fucking mouths. Yeah, they were stupid. They had it coming. Yeah, canceled. Fuck off. I said what I said. All right, the T-Rex was related to the chicken. How fucked is that, guys? How fucked is that? Jay was there. Shut up, Chem Life. Chem Life, you missed it earlier. We talked about ABCM, Abcom, being potentially acquired by Danaher. What's up with that? Not your space? Time! Bulls win. Comfortably. Well played, well played, well played. Gave you your points. By the way, no earnings. We don't give a shit about any earnings tonight. Less time separates us from T-Rex than T-Rex from Stegosaurus. Really? I didn't know that. Not sure. Morals just to own Danaher and TMO and wait until their $1 trillion market caps. Yep. By the way, isn't the history of Danaher, wasn't Danaher originally an automotive supplier? I need to look at that. The history behind Danaher. The former REIT? Holy shit. Purchased Chicago Pneumatic and Matco Tools. 2 years, acquired 12 companies. Instrumentation. Yeah. Hengstler. Counters, printers, relays, and high precision and rotational sensors. Got it. I thought they used to have significant exposure to the automotive industry. Yeah, the Deccan traps in India, Siberian traps over in Russia. And then there's a mythical, theoretical volcanic eruption that would have been now underwater. Total flows are up to 2,000 feet thick. How did AMC do today? Down 11. Oh, poor apes. Emphasis on the word poor. Getting hammered. Hey, Steel Cold Kegs, how you doing, my friend? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the gift sub. Sorry, thank you for the sub. Always appreciate it. Of all the people who do not require subbing to me, you're like my #1 benefactor for tips. So, Soaring Kiwi, if you want a neat geographic story, there's a couple great videos on how New Zealand was created. Essentially, just 13 volcanoes that went berserk. Yep. There is a History Channel program back when it was actually a good channel. How the Earth was made. They talk about the Ring of Fire. Super cool. Super, super cool. Love it. Uranium, this is a good question. I've answered this a few times, and my viewpoint now is actually pretty well crystallized. You asked, do you think Soxel is a good way to ride the semi-euphoria, or is it better to just pick the winners? I would pick the winners. There's so much differences in end markets, and I expect them to differentiate themselves in the next year or so. So right now, I would not trust analog semiconductors. So Texas Instruments, no. Analog Devices, even though they're an incredible company, and I'd love to find them for cheaper, no, not yet. On Semi, I'm avoiding right now, even though it's one of my favorite, quote, companies. Meanwhile, Qualcomm, I expect at some point to bounce. TSMC, I also expect to bounce. Meanwhile, NVIDIA is going to run on its own. It's on its own kind of cadence. And AMD and Intel are lagging a bit behind. Ironically, AMD and Intel have different catalysts ahead of them. The Earth wasn't made by ancient aliens? No. The Earth was made by a planetary collision. That's the fucked up part. You can make an argument right now, and scientists do. The only reason human beings evolved the way we are is because we have a lot more iron in the center of our planet than theories of planetary formation would explain. So if we didn't hit another planet and absorb part of it into our core, we wouldn't have the spinning ball of iron big enough to create the magnetic field to keep us safe from radiation. Just a dream. Give me 1 second. I'll answer that. Penny, was that you buying? No, I did not buy those. Do you know what's fucked up? There was a note earlier. I saw, or a post I saw specifically. If I can pull it up. Someone made an argument CRM, Salesforce, which I thought was wild. Hugging Face, AI startup raised $200 million from investors, including CRM and NVIDIA, managing the company, valuing the company at $4.5 billion. Supposedly, someone made an argument that the movement of Salesforce towards Hugging Face is their attempt to build out an AI ecosystem to eventually challenge Microsoft and OpenAI. Keep this in mind. Microsoft versus Salesforce is probably the big enterprise software battle for the next 10 years. Yeah. Adobe's a great call out. Adobe, it feels like more specific. The bull case behind Adobe, I really like. Like, they were quick to say, AI can absolutely destroy our product. Let's hurry up and use it. Symbiote, you have a buddy at Hugging Face? Did he just get rich? He may have. He may have. Suchi, also the sun is an amazingly rare star, even though it's considered average by most measures. It's astoundingly inactive. Yeah. Call it turned off. Let's hope it doesn't get turned on. Mally Duck, fucking magnets. How do they work? You know, I've seen Insane Clown Posse in concert before. Back when I was like 16 or 17. Yep. Got hit by a Faygo bottle. Loved it. Fuck you. Loved it. I had a good youth. I used to go to all sorts of concerts. Mm-hmm. Still pissed that I missed the one concert looking back I would have loved to have gone to. I see Joe goes rapping at ICP. When was that? This was like late 90s. The concert I really would have loved to, but it missed. Penny, you probably appreciate this. Rage Against the Machine and Wu-Tang Clan toured together. Yeah, imagine that. You love Rage Against the Machine? Yeah, Rage and Wu-Tang together. That would have been spicy. The reminder for earnings tomorrow morning, Best Buy and Neo. Oh, Catalan's up tomorrow, one of the shittiest companies on the fucking planet. You have the Battle of LA CD signed by the band on the cover. Nice. They still make festivals of multiple S-tier artists. I mean, the big festivals are still around. They seem so expensive compared to like what they used to be. Red Martini? Sure. She's streaming, yeah, absolutely. All right, folks, thank you very much for tuning in, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Take care, friends. We're going to raid Martini Rita. I'm a fan of hers. And I will catch you all tomorrow. Peace.